We are back. It is a CH Saturday on the ML Sports Platter, all brought to you by CH Insurance. They've been in your corner for 25 years, personal and commercial insurance plans, and a heck of a lot more. Go visit the website at chinsurance.cc and see how you can get them in your corner. How about this? Joe Jr. is on the show, and we brought in my man, Charlie Miller, the food guru, the multimedia journalist from Syracuse.com. Saw him at the great election luncheon at Our Lady of Pompey, and we're like, hey, why don't you come on the show for a little bit? So we quartered him, we got him on, and it's great to have you aboard. What's up, guys?
It's good to be back.
Hey, good morning, Mike. It was great. I met Charlie, I think, at the Francis house. I see him everywhere. I go, we got to get him on our show. He's restaurants. Obviously, there's insurance issues with restaurants, Mike. We'll talk about that later, but this guy's been around forever in the community. I thought it would be great, and thank you for joining us, Charlie.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
Yeah, and Charlie, you know you're famous when Joe comes up to me and says, do you know who Charlie Miller is? That's when you know you're famous. So speaking of the Charlie Miller, I've known you forever, obviously, and I've had you on a million shows, but you know, multimedia journalist, the food, you know, the whole thing. I mean, I'm just going to give you the stage as an intro for like a minute or two to kind of, you know, how'd you get into all of it? Was it a thought a long time ago? Obviously, you know, Central New York, you've been here for a long time. Kind of get into all the balls in the air kind of became one, right, Charlie?
They did. I mean, I moved here 37 years ago or so, right when I graduated from college in Indiana. And I moved here. I was a breaking news reporter covering police, fire, all that kind of stuff. And then after 8 or 9 years, I moved to sports, and I was the sports editor for 25 years. I mean, that's where we first met. I used to sit next to you in the press box at the Dome.
No doubt.
Football games. I did that for a long time. And then one day, the former sports editor who I replaced, he was the lifestyle editor. And he said, I got a job for you. And he said, I want you to do the best of Central New York stuff. And I said, I don't know what that is. He said, well, you know a lot of people here. Why don't you just go to restaurants and bars and write about what you like? Like, what's the best? It could be hiking trails, whatever, but best boating places. So I turned him down 3 times. I don't know why. And then one day I was at home. It was St. Patrick's Day. It was St. Patrick's Day.
Of course.
And all my friends were doing like a neighborhood pub crawl because I think it was on a Saturday. So the bars were going to be too crowded. So they were doing it in the neighborhood. I had to keep coming back to my house because the high school state basketball tournament was going on. And I had writers all over the state sending me stories and pictures. And I went in on Monday. I said, I just want to make sure you're going to pay me to go to restaurants and bars. You're going to pick up the tab and let me write about what I want. He said, yeah. I said, I'm in. And I've been doing it ever since for, I think, 6 years or 7 years.
Wow.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, everybody would have had me at restaurants because I can't stop eating still in my basically mid 40s. And with that, we transition into restaurants and insurance and all that stuff that you tease, Joe. In a wild world. Charlie, you know a lot about some of the challenges there as well. But Joe, they need their insurance, right?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people when they start off, and Charlie, you know, everyone has these dreams of opening up bars, taverns, restaurants, and you know, we've been blessed. There's a lot of great ones through the county and in Syracuse, obviously, that you've covered, but you know, insurance for them is, you know, a lot of premise type liability, people coming in and out, bar fights, you know, it doesn't happen all the time, but you got to make sure they're protected. And there's certain carriers, guys, that have different niches for just your local tavern versus a franchise type restaurant versus the family style. And Mike, we talk about always trying to work with an independent agent like CH that kind of gives you the choice. The other thing that's been getting crazy is the liquor liability, you know, dram shop insurance, making sure people have policies and procedures for that. It's easy to get, but they got to have tips training and all the things that bartenders need to do. And, you know, we have certain training modules for that can help them. But in theory, restaurants, the insurance carriers like to write them, right? They like to see the experience of someone that at least has managed or been involved 3 to 5 years of not necessarily owning, but managing an operation that can take them to the next level. So it's been great. And I know a lot of the insurance companies, you know, kind of Google things, and Charlie, you come up if you've profiled a restaurant. It's a great thing because it makes our life a little easier because it explains the story of the restaurant. And I just think it's a great thing to have someone like Charlie in Central New York to really profile all these great places, Mike. And I know you love to eat. John Serino, my father, we're always out.
It's all I do is eat, man.
Joe, you're right, and you just touched on something. Because I don't just write about the food. I mean, yeah, I could easily go in, eat a piece of pizza, and say what I like about it. I go in and do what you just said. I tell their story because behind every bar, behind every restaurant is a story. Always. Not every pizza shop owner got into the business for the same reason.
Yep.
And same with a bar owner. You know, sometimes they inherited it. Sometimes it's a family business. Sometimes guy just likes pizza so much that he decided to go into the business.
But you're right. It's all about a story, and that's how we kind of handle our clients to get them the best value like you do. But I guess question for you, Charlie, enough of boring insurance. Tell me about your typical week. Like, you know, what is your agenda for the week? Do you know what you got going from now to the end of the year?
I do, for the most part. I don't schedule it out all that much. But so this year I've been doing a different pizza shop every week. So my goal was starting January 1st this year, I'm going to hit 52 pizza places, tell their story, try their pizza. And I pick whatever, or I buy whatever they want. I let them pick the pizza, not always cheese. It's whatever their favorite is. Like I went to OYP. I was telling Mike earlier, I went to OYP this week, and I told the owner, Joe, I said, Joe, what pizza would you make for yourself at the end of the day that you're going to bring home and eat? And that's what I want. I don't want just, I want to hear what they think is the best. So I did that yesterday. I went there yesterday. I started writing the story. I did the pictures. I shoot all my own pictures, my own video. And then I got up at 5 this morning and finished the story. But every day is different. Earlier this week, I wrote about a new restaurant. I do a lot of new restaurants and bars. I went to this a reincarnation of Boom Boom Mex-Mex. They rebranded for the winter and are doing Italian food.
I saw that. God, that looked great.
Oh my God. 7 pounds of food for $40. My wife and I ate it for 3 days. I did video for that and pictures. So every week is different, which is good because I have the attention span of this pen. And so and this afternoon I'll probably go. I'm going to do another pizza place for next week. I also got a video for Thanksgiving coming up, where I'm talking to a bunch of restaurant owners, like what will they bring to Thanksgiving dinner that's local. So
wow,
yeah, Mike, I've offered to intern for Charlie, by the way, just to carry his bag so I can just eat the entire time.
Well, I do bring Mike. I bring people along. I mean, every time readers text me, said, "Hey, you got to try this place," and I say, "Well, if I go there, come along with me, and I'll pick up the tab because I do. I pay for everything I buy or everything I eat and write about." And I've met so many people in this job. And that's the best part. That's the best. It's not the eating and drinking; it's the meeting people.
Wow.
I bet.
So, Mike, from a marketing standpoint, I was thinking he's got to rate the pizza like Portnoy. One bite, everyone knows the rules, but we can't do that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and then, Joe, I'm sorry, but I can't just eat one bite. I eat the whole damn thing.
Yeah, seriously. And by the way, how many pounds of food was that? It was 40?
No, 7 pounds of Italian food.
$40 for 7.
$40.
Yeah,
that's
okay.
$5.50 per pound.
Yeah,
that is a bargain.
That lasted you for 3 days. I'm trying to think. That would last me an afternoon and maybe lunch the next day. I cleaned house at the election luncheon, I told Joe I cleared my whole plate. I was the only one at the table who ate it all.
Yeah. So Mike, we're gonna have to tell Sereno, D'Amato, and Leone about that new place.
Yeah, no doubt. And then everybody can go out on you, including Charlie Miller. Let's do a CH Saturday plug here quick. Of course, CH Insurance, they're in your corner and have been for 25 years. Log on to chinsurance.cc for your personal and commercial insurance plan. Make sure you look at your policy before the end of the year. So Hoosier Cuse is, has been a nickname of yours, Hoosier Cuse, and people are
about this.
Indiana, Syracuse. What do you mean to that? Charlie, you got a very unique deal here, man. Being in Central New York for almost 4 decades, going to Indiana, 1987. Again, all the balls in the air, and then they all come into one. But that's a crazy thing, man, to have both sides. And I remember when you came on the show, I think maybe the second or third time with me, and I actually did not know that about you. I just saw the nickname and figured, it's probably something. But like you said, there's a story behind a bar, there's a story behind a restaurant, and there's a story behind Hoosier Cuse.
Well, so I was a junior in college, and the night that Indiana played Syracuse for the national championship, my phone rings in my dorm room, and it's the lifestyle editor for, remember the Herald Journal, the afternoon paper. It was him, and he was offering me an internship, and it was one of a few that I had applied for, and I said, "Yeah, that sounds great. I'll take it." Well, then the night goes on, Indiana wins, and I called him the next day. I said, "Are you sure you want me to spend the summer out in Syracuse, New York?" And he said, "More now than ever," because he went to Indiana.
Yeah, right.
Well, long story short, I went there. I came here, spent the summer here, loved it so much that after I graduated, I came back, and I've been here ever since. And
that's great.
Then I went on to get my master's at SU, and now I teach there.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's a great story.
When people, I just have one more for Charlie, and then Joe, I'll let you wrap it up however you want with Charlie, and then the insurance stuff. When people, I ask authors this all the time, best-selling authors, Ian O'Connor and Woj and everybody, when they finish a book, and there's a reader, Joe loves books, but when you read a book, what do you hope people say about it at the end? When people read your stuff, what do you hope they say about it? Not from a critique standpoint or whatever, right? Because you're always going to get that too, right? You're going to say something about a piece of pizza. We're like, well, that's not my favorite. And somebody's always going to say something. But your work, your journalism, your travel, how you approach it, what do you hope people say about your work when they get done reading and following your content?
That is probably one of the best questions I've ever been asked. I'll tell you what I want people to get out of my stories is to learn something. They can like my writing style. That's up to them. I want them to be able to walk into a restaurant or a bar and be able to tell the people they're with something that they didn't know. So I want to give people something to talk about, because I'm introducing them to a restaurant or a bar that they may not have known about beforehand.
Yeah.
And when they walk in, they tell their spouse or their friends, "Oh, hey, the owner bought this with his longtime college friend. They always talked about it, and they finally did it." Something that was unknown to everybody. So
gotcha.
I want to give people something to talk about.
That's great.
Hey, did you know that the Allen Angus pub has beef on weck? I mean, something.
Exactly.
All right, Joe. Put a ball on it.
Great. Well, I was just gonna say, Charlie, you got to be pumped for Indiana football. Are you? I know you bleed orange. You better bleed orange and not red. Okay.
So
is this team for real? Is this team for real, Indiana?
Yes, they are. Joe, when I was a senior, Indiana finally beat Michigan. Yeah. And I remember because Bo Schembechler was getting yellow flag.
The videos are still all over. If you YouTube that, Schembechler going banana land. Yeah.
Yes, I was right above that because I was right above. But so I was a senior when we finally beat Michigan. Now I'm a senior citizen almost, and we have a good football team.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yes,
well,
and where did they come in, Michael, in the rankings? Now, I
well,
should know
they're
this,
what,
but
top 5 now, and the job that Kurt Signetti's done has been tremendous, and I've enjoyed his bites the last week or so when he's been asked, like, well, how do you get people? Because, the most overused word in sports and football is culture, but it is true. But God, it's so old, and it's like the old Michael Jordan crying face on the internet. But it's culture. How do you build your culture? They have a great culture. And somebody asked him that, and then they asked him again, and he goes, "I win." And I was like, okay, well, there it is.
Yeah,
I
it is.
love it. I love it.
Yeah. The
Well,
Ohio State game's coming up, though. That's when we're going to really know how good they are.
Yes, yes. So we're going to close up. Charlie, thank you for being in our corner this morning. It was great. Michael, go SU. We got Youngstown State, and we have Cal in football. We got to get some W's. We'll be okay, buddy. We'll be okay. But go Cuse today.
Big week this week across the board, and this was a treat on a CH Saturday. Joe Jr. from CH Insurance, my man, and of course, our big celebrity guest for this show, Charlie Miller, the food guru, multimedia journalist from Syracuse.com, the Post Standard. Make sure you go follow him on all the social platforms. Go catch him all around town. Does an unbelievable job. And I'm also proud to call both you guys friends as well. This is a great segment. CH Insurance is bringing it to you. They are in your corner and have been for 25 years at chinsurance.cc. Personal and commercial insurance. Go look at your policy. Call them. See how they can help you today. They are in your corner. Guys, thanks so much. Take care.
Thanks, guys.
Michael. Have a good weekend.